And we're back. What a shred. That was a good guitar shred. Did you see that?
Have we had that before?
That fucking riff? I mean, I don't know. It's a good riff.
I know that we need
It's
that.
a
We need to have that
nasty,
more.
it's a nasty Friday riff. Well, we're back, boys and gals. Another edition of Sean and Spin in the Morning, presented by Off Base Media. This is our Friday, May 9th edition, episode 11. We got a wet hot American weekend to get into, Shawnee. How we feeling?
Good. Lots to talk about in the vibe check, especially right after everybody's favorite recap segment, Hard 90s. Um, all in all, Rafael Devers is a piece of shit, but we'll get there.
We got to get. I think everyone's amped up on Rafi. Everyone has an opinion about him. We'll get to our opinions then. But first, let's start off with everyone's favorite recap segment, Hard 90s, which we recap yesterday's games today in 90 seconds. And there was a short slate yesterday, so no excuses for this one, eh?
Yeah. What were you at on Wednesday? Like 150
140,
something?
maybe
140?
40
Okay.
something, maybe 50. It's been up and down, but today we got yesterday we had a short slate. On Thursday, May 8th, this is what we were looking at. Shani, our time starts now. We started out with Baltimore and Minnesota. Normally, this would be a dog shit matchup, but Minnesota continues to roll. They won 5-2. I don't know if there's any notables there, except for the fact that Minnesota kind of continues to roll against a bad Baltimore team. Texas at Boston. Boston, what, 5-0 later, gets a loss there. That was at Fenway. But come on, Texas. We want to see more out of that. And Brett Boone. White Sox at Kansas City. Kansas City, woo, 10-0. Bobby Witt Jr. have a day. Kyle Bubich pitches well, and he should have against that team. Tigers in Colorado had a doubleheader. Tigers swept in doubleheader, exactly what you want Detroit to do. 10-2 in the first game. Casey Mize, gem. 11-1 in the second game. I mean, they outscored him in that doubleheader 21-3. Talk about fucking kicking ass and taking names. Good on Detroit there. Phillies at Tampa Bay. Phillies win 7-6. What happened there, Sean? In the 10th inning, they won it. So good for them. Luzardo didn't pitch bad. Didn't pitch great, but they ended up prevailing. Bryson Stott bomb. Cincy at Atlanta. Atlanta wins 5-4 via the walk-off. They won in the bottom of the 9th or the 10th. I don't know. Double check me. That was, I think, a pretty good pitching matchup, but Atlanta prevailed. Bassett and Toronto, they beat up on the Angels. Bassett gets a win, an 8-5 victory in Anaheim. And then finally, Pafaf versus Yamamoto. Diamondbacks took care of business at home against the Dodgers 5-3. Woo! How do you like that for a fucking 90s?
That's a pretty good one. Plus, with a whole lot of detail in there.
I had to, because we had such a small slate. I knew I could do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
We're gonna get there though.
Hold
on. We got there.
We got
there.
That was a good 90. That was a hard 90. I made that hard 90 look like an easy 90. But how about this, though, as we ended on Dodgers and Arizona? That's a good matchup. I know we're going to talk more about that.
Yeah, so if we're getting into the vibe check, that's a huge win for the Diamondbacks to take the first out of a 4-game series against the Dodgers. We talked about how hard the NL West is going to be, or how hard it's going to be just to get in the playoffs in the NL. And you got to win against good teams. And the Diamondbacks are kind of hot. They turned around. They took, they had the Mets series, but then they dropped 2 to the Phils. What did they do in the last series?
The D-backs?
Oh, they played the Mets again. Did they win 2-3?
No. So the Mets got them in that series.
Damn. So I guess they were on kind of a skid. But anyway, I digress. Good win against the Dodgers.
Very good win. And by the way, that's going to put Arizona, that was their 20th win. So there's 4 teams in that division with 20-plus wins. They're sitting at 20. And then we got 24, 23, 25. They're still 5 games out with 20 wins, though. So they got to continue to pounce.
Which is insane because probably in the wild card race, they're sitting around. If the Diamondbacks didn't have to play the other 3 teams as much as they had to, they'd probably be first place in any other division, in all honesty.
Probably, but the fact that they do have to play these teams is good for them. It helps them gain ground if they can perform. It also can make you lose ground. But now in this Dodger series, they take the first one. Pafat has been really good. He's been their low-key ace so far. So if they can continue to roll, beat up on the Dodgers, yeah, there's some ground that they can gain by playing these division teams. But they're going to be good matchups.
I know. So another team that is like kind of extremely interesting. Uh, it's going to be the Rangers. I was like looking at how they've been trending in the injury department, and it feels like every time they bring someone off, they're sending somebody else right back on. They just brought up Duran, who was good for them. Maybe it was last year. Was it last year?
Yeah, he's been pretty pesky.
Yeah. So they brought him up, but then they just sent Kevin Pillar on the IL. Like it's a rotating, like, I don't care who it is at this point. They just keep putting guys on the IL constantly. You can't be a good team when everybody's injured,
Yeah,
especially your starters.
yeah, and this was actually one thing. I don't want to change the subject. We stick with Texas. I know we're going to get to Pittsburgh in a sec, but I had this same thing with Pittsburgh and listening to their fucking GM talk in a press conference after they fired Shelton. I know we're going to get to that, but his big thing was when asked about if he's done enough for his, to put Shelton in a good spot. His thing was, we brought in some guys and a lot of guys got hurt. Well, my thing is about injuries are a given. They're going to happen. No one likes them. They're going to happen. The job, I think, is to make a deep enough team so that the injuries don't end up murdering you. Like, you could still stay afloat despite injuries if you're deep enough. And I think Texas on paper has put themselves in that position. Their big thing for me right now is some really big names not producing, or even Jake Berger getting sent down, and Jock Peterson having an awful start to his Rangers tenure. I don't think Seager's been Kyle Seager. Semyon certainly hasn't been good. Langford's probably been the only promising spot, maybe Jonah Heim. So it's like you are deep enough on paper. Like, without Pilar, then it's like, is he a big guy on that team? I don't know, but Adolis Garcia has to fucking wake up. So it's like they are deep enough. Look at the Braves last year. They put themselves in good conversations. When they get banged up, they are deep enough to kind of compensate or at least stay afloat. The Dodgers are doing it right now. So I do think Texas is deep enough on paper, but it sucks with the injury bug. Nobody wants that. But the bottom line is the game plan doesn't change. They still need their big boppers to be big boppers, and that's not happening offensively.
And you're 100% right, especially when that's not happening and injuries on top of it. Like, I'm surprised they're even 500, if I'm being honest. Because if you were to tell me that those guys weren't producing, and then you read off all the injuries they've had this year, there's no way they should be 500 right now.
Yeah, they're actually 2 games under, so that Boston series,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they were 500, and then Boston kind of got to them. They needed those wins, but I guess Boston needed them too, so that actually puts Boston a game over.
And speaking of Boston, we're gonna go off of what I said right off the bat.
Oh
my God! This has to be on everybody's minds right now, because I mean, if you follow baseball at all, if you've seen anything, we're not gonna read the quotes. You guys can just read them on your own. But wow, this guy is entitled. The entitlement alone is fucking astonishing, Spin. You think of some of the notable people in the MLB who have switched positions. One being, I don't know if Devers ever played with him, but Mookie Betts. How many times has Mookie Betts switched positions, dude? He's played right, second. Now he's playing short. Bryce Harper, right field, first base. Judge, right field, center field. I mean, granted, that's not whatever, but Rafael Devers is making it look like to play first base, you need to be like working at NASA and flying to the moon. It's like, listen, it's a position you're supposed to be an athlete. You can play the position. He complained in the beginning of the season that he wasn't going to get to play the field. And now they're telling him to play the field and he doesn't want to.
I'm happy that we agree on this, actually. There's some people that kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, he's this big-time guy. He's their franchise guy. He's getting paid to do these things. He has a right. Like, some people look at it that he's not a player when you pay him that much or what he means that much to the organization. Not only is he a player, but he's like a partner in your organization. Fine, I get it. But the thing that pisses me off, wouldn't you want your star player or a guy who holds so much weight to be more of a gamer, be more of a team guy, be more of a, hey, I'm willing to change something or do something different if it's for the betterment of the team? That's how I fucking feel. I want to go. What was this quote about, by the way? I know we're.
Yeah, he's like calling out the GM.
He's calling out the GM. Yeah.
Like,
next thing you know, someone in the outfield gets hurt and they want me to be in the outfield. That's like so not the same thing. These are corner infield positions anyway. Like, I think he's blown it out of proportion. I don't like his quotes. I don't like his mentality. This is the worst. This is a cancer in the locker room. There's a lot of comments on this post was saying that. I can't fathom it. You mentioned a few guys. You can talk about Altuve. You could talk about fucking everybody switching positions. I think the fucking Mookie thing is crazy. I think the Altuve thing, because that is infield to outfield to infield, like whatever. Like this is corner position shit. Like I'm not making it easy. He said, like he's mentioned something. It's like it's not easy to just do this, to do that, or whatever the fuck. No, you're absolutely right, Rafael. It's fucking challenging. It is going to be a challenge, but I think you want your main dude to be up for that challenge and do something for the betterment of the team. This is a big baby to me. This is a big fucking baby to me.
Dude, your teammate broke his leg in like 4 different places. Go help him out. I mean, I can't put it to words. Could you imagine anybody in a regular job being like, "Hey, we need you to like fill in here for a little bit," and you say no? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, no, yeah, fuck you, me, right? Like you're gonna do it. You have to do it. And this guy is just pampered. Like he's not even hitting well enough to be acting like this.
That is true. He was coming off a good day yesterday where he hit a homer and they won, so maybe he thought he had some leverage. But yeah, they made a funny statement on MLB Network. They were like, he has a translator too, so it was like it was like he has plenty of time to think about what he's going to say. When you have your translator, you have plenty of time to think about your next sentence, and he is just riffing. And I mean, this is to me, he's a big fucking baby. I hate this, and it's not good for. But I don't know how Boston fans feel about this. If I'm a Boston fan, I'm extremely pissed off because Boston hasn't been good in fucking forever. Now you finally have the pieces. You have some momentum entering this year. Right now they're sitting at second place. The division isn't great. They could do something this year. They felt that in the offseason. Maybe we can do something. They start to see the wheels turn. They start to see the pieces come into fruition. And they haven't been a playoff team since 2021. For their standards, that's not good. They were a last place team for 2 straight years. They were a 500 team last year. Now the organization is doing things to put them in conversations to be back in the playoffs. I mean, what the fuck? Now this is what you're getting out of your star guy. That's like, fucking really bad.
I can't imagine Boston fans are happy about this. You know what I mean?
If you're a Boston fan, I don't think you can be. I'd be pissed off if I'm a fan. And sometimes there is the other side of the argument. So there's plenty of people that do disagree with us and agree with Devers, by the way. Like there are people like you'll see agree with like, oh, he doesn't have to do that. It's a mind fuck for him because it was basically you're not playing. You're going to play third and Bregman will play second. Oh, never mind. Bregman's playing third. We just want you to DH. Oh, now you're not DH and you're playing first. I think you just have to. I know you're getting paid the big
punches. You want to be a good player. You want to be a star in this league. You gotta go with the flow, man. You got to be able to do it all.
I mean, I agree. I think you have to. At the very least. Now, I don't know what his conversations with his teammates have been or his conversations with Alex Cora. I think maybe if his teammates and the manager talk to him, I think it'll probably be different conversations. But right now with the GM and the owners or whoever the fuck he's talking about here, they have a fucking he has a bone to pick with them. And it just doesn't make sense to him. It's like, oh, I'm a third baseman. Now I'm DHing and you want me to put my glove away. Now you want me to take my glove. People are on his side. I think Red Sox are in a position to do something this year, and it's not going to work until he's on board. And the fact that he's not on board is ridiculous. I think he also says something about like, if you don't like it, maybe go shop for someone else. Like he mentioned something like that.
Well,
look for another. Read that first sentence there.
Yeah, they should do their jobs.
Yeah, hit the market. Look for another player if they don't like. Like
they found another player, and Alex Bregman, who's playing like an MVP.
Exactly. So he's like, I mean, I'm a third baseman. Now you want me to put my glove away. Now you want me to take my glove out. Well, yeah, these things happen. You don't anticipate. And this isn't like a 15-day IL for Casas. He's out for the whole fucking year. He's out for the whole fucking year. So now it's like.
He's never going to walk the same, dude, let alone play again. Like, who knows?
Someone needs to step up. And sorry, you looked for your big name players to step up and be a leader. He has not been a leader. Altuve, for as much as you want to shit on Altuve, he's done something for the betterment of the team, knowing that there's guys, it could deepen a lineup or deepen an out. They had problems with their outfield in spring training. He said, I'll play left field if it deepens the lineup. Say what you want about Altuve, with the wire and shit. Say what you want about him in the trash cans. He's making Devers look like a piece of shit right now. Devers is making Altuve look like fucking the Pope.
And I mean,
he's a White Sox fan.
Do you remember spring training?
Yeah, there was a whole thing there, and just when you thought it was over, now Casas fucking dude.
Like they win a huge series. Like they finally finally put 2 good games together, and a lot of it was because Devers started hitting the baseball. And now he gets a little, swag in his step and thinks he's all that, and then boom. Yeah. Like, do you think the translator when he was translating was just like, I wonder if I should actually say this out loud? Like,
Yeah, like it's almost like the translator is media trained, but Devers isn't, and then
yeah,
like the translator's
the PR in Boston's horrible.
it
Speaking
really
about
is.
another bad PR, the Pirates firing their coach. You were talking about it a little bit earlier in the press conference. What'd he say in the press conference?
Well, the GM, I forget his name, Ben something, I think. He said he was asked about if they did enough, like if he did enough as a GM to basically set up Shelton for success as manager. And his whole shebang was just basically listing all the moves that they made. I couldn't pull up the
What,
video,
they
but
brought in Tommy Pham? That's a
yeah,
big move.
there was like, well, we started out with re-signing McCutcheon. Okay, fine. Well, I love McCutcheon. He's 38 though, and I love McCutch. Okay,
Yeah.
we all do. We all love. He's
Who
impossible
doesn't
to
love
beat.
him? You know?
But 38. Okay, so that was your big offseason move. Okay, then it's like, well, we also had to. Okay, we were going to put O'Neal Cruz in center, move Brian Reynolds to a corner spot, and then we looked at a Tommy Pham. We like his track record. We like that maybe he has a bit of intensity in his game. He's a veteran. Talk about a veteran. He's 37. So those are your two signings right now, right? Is a 37 and
Yeah.
38-year-old guy,
Real quick.
respectively. Yeah.
About Tommy Pham, he's batting 183 on the year, so good move.
And it's like, yeah, and he's not really. Here's the name, by the way, Ben Charrington.
Dude, I mean, I think Yinzers and all the people out in Pittsburgh have been calling for them to sell the team and like have the GM fired for like years now.
Yeah, he
I
hates
don't
his
know how this
guy.
guy gets in front of a mic and says, "Yeah, we made all the right moves."
Oh, he
That's
didn't, and he didn't want to be there. By the way, like it was very evident he didn't want to be there. He goes on to talk about the infield. We brought an IKF. We have some guys at second base. Our catching, we have a handful of catchers that, and then he's like I said before, he's kind of talking about, well, some of these guys aren't performing at a high level, and there's also been a handful of injuries. I don't like Spencer Horowitz was one of their signings, I think, but Jack Sawinski's never came into fruition. Henry Davis was a 1-of-1 pick who's never kind of panned out. So he's talking about, Brian Hayes is fine, but he's talking about all these pieces, and it's like the guys that you brought in are serviceable, but there's no star power really. And if you're going to talk about how a lot of it is guys not producing right now and also a handful of injuries, then I don't know if Derek Shelton getting fired is the answer.
Mm-mm. I mean, I always talk about what I know, and you have like Girardi, who when he got fired, Dombrowski brought in all the pieces for him. They had that, that lineup was unbelievable. They were all still, somewhat in their primes. Castellanos was coming off a career year. Schwarber was a beast. JT was still playing JT baseball and everything like that. And then, of course, Harper and the young guys and everything. So in that sense, when you see the lineup and you're like, okay, why is this team not winning? But you look at the Pirates lineup and you're like, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they haven't won a game yet this year. That's not the manager's fault at all.
It's not. And that's a good example too, because no one walked away from that thinking Girardi was a bad manager. I don't think when these guys, maybe they did, but I don't think Girardi's a bad manager. Yeah, maybe, but the team wasn't living up to par. And the bottom line is a change needed to be made because they weren't playing at the level that everyone felt that they should have been playing. Also, they were coming off of 2022 might have been the first year since 2012 where they finished above 500.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was a horrible stretch. So they needed a change. They needed it now, especially when the front office did put together. I guess they assembled a great fucking team. And obviously they end up going to a World Series that year. But with the Pirates, yeah, it's completely different because I think everyone thought the Pirates would be a last place team. Did they think that they were going to be a top 3 team in that division? I was making this point before. I was like, we were talking. I mean, I've certainly been saying, I think a lot of people were saying that the narrative of the Central was like the Central's wide open. At the beginning of the year, the Central's wide open. It doesn't mean for you, Pittsburgh. I think they never thought that they had a chance because everyone's talking about how the NL Central is a wide open division. It's pretty much wide open for everybody except Pittsburgh. So I think he valued his team wrong, which again is his fucking fault. I don't know, man.
I mean, when you hire Daniel Vogelbach as your hitting coach,
that too. How about that?
Like, how about you fire him?
That's a great fucking point. And I forgot it was Vogelbach, or I don't know if he's their hitting coach or he's like it's something like that though. He's like maybe like look at his actual position, but it is something like that. But I'm happy you brought the hitting coach because that was the other thing.
Special hitting assistant.
Yeah. So it's even dumber. He's very special, and he's
just
like
there to be on the meal plan at this point.
Yeah, he's just there for the fucking chili dogs and the Heinz. but like he's there for the sheets and shit. But like there's the thing is, I'm happy you brought that up because one, I was making the comparisons to Girardi's Phillies because that made sense, right? They weren't playing up to par, and a change has to be made. Now, anytime a change has to be made, it is the manager. I think you take the job as manager knowing that you're going to get the shit under the stick pretty much every single time. But this doesn't make sense to me because it's not like they're playing under par. Like they're very much on par to what we thought they were going to be. That's the fucked up part. Secondly, yes, we've seen this more so recently than ever. We just saw it with Texas. The Yankees did it a few years ago. You fire your hitting coach, try to get something, new philosophies, pick these guys' brain, talk approach. Like you fire your hitting coach, which makes a little bit more sense. Now what you do, now you make it a little bit messy. I think they're worse off now than what they were a week ago after this firing, because now you're going to finish off the season with an interim manager. I'd rather finish the season basically very on par, a last place team like everyone thought you were going to be, I guess, except for Ben fucking Shelton. Everyone else knew they were going to be a last place team. I'd rather finish out the season with a manager who's had 5 years of service time with the team. I think he was going on year 6. So he's had service time as manager before. Now you resort to like your bench coach as your interim guy or whatever the fuck it is. Now you got to fill positions and coaching. Like now it gets messy. Finish the year with Derek Shelton because I think that's your best bet to just do that. At the end of the year now, because now it gets weird in the middle of the year. You're worse off without an actual manager. You're worse off with your interim. I promise them that because they're not going to be good. So either way, they stink. Now they just don't have a real manager to do it under. And I would say, fuck it. We have to just eat it this year. Develop the Henry Davises of the world. Develop some pitchers. Hopefully, Jared Jones comes back and looks good. Continue to work with Skeensy. Try to get O'Neal Cruz on the right track. It's about player development, and maybe hopefully Cabrian Hayes has a decent season, and maybe he's a piece moving forward. They have some serviceable guys, but they don't have enough production. They certainly don't have enough stars to do anything. So weigh out this season with Derek Shelton. At the end of the year, then you say, fuck it. We're going to do a complete rebuild, starting with the manager. Then Derek Shelton gets fired. And then you start to just try to trade pieces and use some guys as leverage based on the season that they had. But to do it, not even in the middle of the year, they do it in the first week of May. And now you have to ride with
You're
a
not even a third
guy.
through the season. You're not even a third of the way through the season.
Then you got to finish the next fucking 2/3 or even more 2/3 with an interim fucking guy. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Go through. They're very much on par. It pissed me off when the Cubs fired David Ross after I thought they were on par.
That was horrible because what was he supposed to do? And I remember that one. That one was bad.
That was like 2 years ago. Like
you see it a lot. A lot of these coaches get a lot of blame for things that GMs do.
I agree. I think you take the job as manager knowing you're going to get the shit end of the stick, but it doesn't make sense in some, like the Girardi case. It makes sense. With David Ross, to me, it didn't make sense. I think at least they waited to the end of the year to do it.
Yeah,
they were also kind of in like a playoff hunt. But in this case, you're not in you're never going to be in a playoff hunt, and they make terrible decisions. So how could you ever be in a hunt? You stink. They stink. Yeah. What a terrible fucking organization, and what a terrible move. It's just really fucking disgusting.
I know. The other one I wanted to talk about, I guess, you know what? No, we'll talk about it now. We'll go quick with this one, but the O's got swept by the Twins.
Twins have been playing good. We talked about that last time. Puts the Twins 2-game under. Puts the O's 10 games under in 7.5.
So, like, what did the Orioles do there? Do you think they are now considering it, or are they going to ride with him?
Brandon Hyde is their manager. Yeah. You're saying, I do think you ride with Hyde, especially towards the end of the season. I do think there's enough guys there. Now, granted, this is be another interesting case if they were to do it. I don't think they do because I do think they like Brandon Hyde. The good thing with the O's, they did make the playoffs the last 2 years, where the Pirates didn't make it since 2015. So they have that going for But I think they like Hyde. I think he's proven to be a pretty good manager. He's going to be the part of like the turnaround in Baltimore. Now it's turned back around this year, obviously.
Yeah.
The weird thing with him though is like I thought the front office did a shitty job. We talked about this on Wednesday.
So that's
they
why
did a shitty job, and now he will get the shit end of the stick, right?
Yeah, so I don't think he should be. This is strictly a front office. Like that pitching staff you gave him is horrible. What is he supposed to do with that? And then the big trade you traded for the wrong Luis Castillo.
So that I didn't see. It was like a second baseman, or
No, they traded for the second pitcher that's named Luis.
Okay,
Castillo.
okay. I don't even know. Did they give up like young guys or some shit for
No
that?
cash consideration, so they didn't even really give up anything. But like, it wasn't like this guy isn't that good, And I mean, I guess maybe anything's better than what you have, but I don't know.
Yeah,
The front office there is a mess, and hopefully the GM sees that kind of thing. But I mean, I guess we'll see.
I think, yeah, because we always talk about they lose Burns, lose Santander. There's no pitching. They try to compensate by losing those guys in ways that weren't going to do it. I think we all figured that. Like Charlie Morton and Sugano aren't going to do it. But side note, I know we're going to cruise on to our Wet Hot America weekend and talk more about them. But Zach Eflin is coming back on Sunday. That's positive. Sugano has looked better as of late. So they have the Angels. So little foreshadow, but it's a bad Angels team, a worse Orioles team, but you have Sugano tonight and Eflin on Sunday against a bad Angels team. You got to prove that those pitchers can do something against that Angels offense.
Yeah, I have 2 points so stick around for later because I have 2 points that I think some series this weekend are really going to tell the truth about some of these teams, which I'm excited to talk about.
As we cruise into the Wet Hot American weekend.
I wonder if anybody actually gets that reference.
You get it, right? We never talked about it. We just ripped it. Yeah. It's like one of my favorite it's like a show and a movie, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think they did the show when they were younger, right? Or opposite.
So I always get confused.
So do I. Hold on.
Because they play younger people.
I know.
in like the 80s. It's like set in like the 80s, but it's like present day, but they play like they're kids, but they're adults. It's really fucking.
So it was the movie. And then the Netflix later released the TV show.
What were the years of? Do you have the release?
2001 was the movie.
It's one of the greatest ones that never gets talked about.
I know, I love it. And then the TV show was in 2015.
Oh, so they did it for Netflix. So yeah, it was. I
always forget that awkward guy is in it. Victor Kulak. He plays the dad in Role Models.
Who's the dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine then? The one cop who's like a little.
I
thought that's the guy you were talking about.
No, that guy's funny though. I can't remember his name. I don't think he's in it.
The one dude I like is like black hair. I always forget his name, but
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Vic. What's his actual name?
Ken Marino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that who it is?
Yeah. He plays
love that guy.
He plays like an awkward guy in everything he does, and he's so good at it.
He's like a dick, dude. He played like the guy from Where the Millers. He was like the strip club owner. Remember that? He's fucking great. Speaking of strip clubs, let's go to Braves at Pirates to start the weekend. Doesn't make any sense of a transition, but we're just gonna riff.
All right. Well, so for the first game of the Wet Hot American weekend, got Braves Pirates, got Bryce Elder versus Bailey Falter night. Snooze. AJ Smith. Sorry, I gotta put my glasses on. I can't see a thing. Can't see without my glasses. Shawver versus Heine, and then Sale versus Mlodzinski.
Yes. Let's see here. Well, in theory, Pirates have an interim manager, and they stink. We just got done talking about that. They are home, and the Braves need to get back on track.
Braves are on 3-0. 3-0. I don't think we have to talk about it a whole lot. I think the Braves know they need the series. Good teams beat bad teams, and the Pirates are a bad team. Simple as that.
Love to see the Braves stroll into Pittsburgh and sweep. Are we both taking Atlanta to sweep?
Yeah. All right. Then a little more interesting series, because this is going to be big for both of these teams. We were talking about them earlier, but Rangers Tigers. Corbin versus Skubal tonight. DeGrom
Ooh.
versus Flattery Saturday, Evaldi versus Olsen Sunday. Um, should I tell my fun fact of the day?
Yeah, is it the bullet point here?
No, yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
Patrick Corbin sucks. That's my fun fact of the day. He is so bad. I hate Patrick Corbin. I'm gonna take somebody on the Tigers to go yard tonight. Probably every single day, actually, because it's just gonna happen. But Scooble also, it's noteworthy. He's around like a 1 ERA when he pitches at home.
They're good, man, and Reese Olson's good. Haven't heard much of Flaherty just because there's been a lot of Reese Olson talk. Jackson Jobe actually didn't look the greatest in that Rocky series, but they still got the win that day. But Joe has been a talking point. Reese Olson, and then whoever the other fucking guy, Casey Mize. So those three kind of younger, more under the radar guys, be getting a lot of talk. Obviously, Scooble's the king of the fucking hill. So I don't really know what Flaherty's been doing this year. He's going against DeGrom. So that's Saturday, right? I kind of like DeGrom. I want to favor Texas. The other two games, I'll take Scooble tonight over Corbin Burns with a pair of lefties. I like Scooble in the first one. I want to go DeGrom tomorrow. And you know what? I kind of want to go Evaldi in game 3.
Because that was going to be my big pick of the weekend, and you just took it. Because I was gonna take the Rangers 2 out of 3 as well. Because Evaldi's been pitching really well lately, and I'm never gonna bet against DeGrom, but Scooble is obviously the better pitcher. So going Rangers 2 out of 3 is actually kind of nuts, and I'm gonna go with it.
That's in Comerica too. So yeah, do you have the same ones? I'm writing these by the day because I want to make sure which ones are right. So I have Detroit, Texas, Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride that. Also something notable which I didn't know. Scooble's kind of like a psychopath.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I that's awesome. I thought he was like a nerdy little pitcher. No,
No,
he's like
that's
a
Corbin.
dog. He
Corbin, I think, is a dork. So
did you
who do you
see?
take?
Did you see when Scooble was pitching against the Angels?
I think he was like he was yelling and shit,
Yeah,
right?
Zach Nito took him deep, like first at bat of the game,
Oh, that's right.
and then comes back around, dices him, like throws it right by him, and then just starts talking shit straight to him all the way as he's walking back to the dugout.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And by the way, I don't think it is crazy to think that Texas can come into Comerica and take the Saturday Sunday games. You do have
Yeah,
the ground
it's all
Evaldi.
about what their bats do. It's all about what their bats do.
Well, and also, I mean, Tigers pitching is really good, so they could very well shut him down. But listen, Detroit, how much are they going to fucking? There've been win. Someone's going to get in their way, and it's going to be Tigers for at least one over the weekend. And if it is DeGrom, then I'm not going to bet on Evaldi on Sunday. So I'm going to actually, I'll go Detroit, Texas, and I'm going to stick with that.
I'm in on that too. Next, Cards versus Nationals. And when I first read this, I was like, kind of like whatever.
We still hate him though. We still hate
Go
him.
look up how many career home runs Patrick Corbin has given up.
His baseball reference doesn't look good, but hey, if he looks good this year, good for him. But he's also going against Scooble, so fucking good luck, Patrick. He'll be 1-3 tonight.
Joey just pissed me off. But anyway, moving on. Cards versus Nationals. I thought it was going to be kind of, iffy. But this series might be actually kind of fun.
I think so.
We got Fetty versus Parker, Palante versus Williams, and then Michaelis versus Gore.
Another guy we hate on the program.
Yeah. You can't suck at baseball and have that kind of mustache. You need to pick one or the other. Reasons I think this is kind of sneaky. The Cardinals are now in second place in the NL Central.
They've been playing
5-game win streak, and the bats. I was looking at their averages. They're starting to wake up over there. It's not just the Donovan one-man show anymore.
I put something at the bottom about the Cardinals coming to life. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. But I know Gruden's been on their side. We love when John Gruden fucking gets with the team. Oh, they start to wake up. He met with them. He was talking to Lars Nootbaar. You see Lars Nootbaar's snap count and shit?
Mm-hmm.
So all that shit's going on in St. Louis. Now, how much do they ride a win streak? Even a 6-game win streak is good. That means that they would lose game 2. I actually don't like that. I love Fetty tonight. Mm-hmm. I don't like Trevor Williams this year. I don't think Payante's been all that bad. But then, so I do have St. Louis, Washington, and I don't like Michaelis. I do like Gore on Sunday. So
Well,
St.
also, I
St.
I
Louis
I
did
don't know
really
if you
well.
see that there. I notated Gore's starting to wake back up a little bit. He's had 2 pretty good starts back to back. He pitched pretty shutout against the Angels. Now it is the Angels, but that's something that builds confidence in a young guy. And something I want to note on for the Nationals real quick. So everybody remembers the Juan Soto trade. If you're a baseball fan, you know the Juan Soto trade. There was like a blockbuster deal. Who would have ever done that? Well, 3 years later, 3 guys who came out of that trade are James Woods, Mackenzie Gore, and CJ Abrams. James Woods has been 281 with 10 bombs on the year. Mackenzie Gore's got a 3.33 ERA with 68 strikeouts on the year. And then Abrams is hitting 286 with 11 extra base hits with a late start on the year. I mean, they got 3 talented young guys. Now, with that being said, they're not a complete team. That's why I'm going to agree with you. I like Fetty tonight. He's electric. Great last name, by the way.
Fettuccine. I think I put that down there too.
Love I don't really know much about Palante or Trevor Williams. I know Trevor Williams kind of stinks this year. But I definitely am going to go with Gore on Sunday. I'm going Cards, Nats.
That's what I have too. So we got some guys going on the road and winning series right now. I think
Yeah.
everyone we have is a road series win on the 3 we have. And by the way, when we talk about some of these Soto trades, maybe the Nationals won that trade, right? Because you mentioned those 3 big names. How about when there was the Yankees and Padres in a trade? They sent like Michael. That's how Michael King got there, amongst other guys. Maybe there's definitely a few more that I forget. Like Higashioka was in there, and some other dudes, another pitcher. But the Yankees in return got Soto and Grisham. So I think the Yankees they won the Grisham trade. They won the Grisham trade.
What Trent? We'll get. I actually wanted to touch on him a little bit later.
We'll get to the Yanks, yeah.
So I mean, now that we're bringing it up, we bring up that trade. Who won that trade?
Probably the Padres. I was just being a shithead. Even though because Grisham is like my golden.
No.
god,
I'm talking about the Nationals and
Padres. Probably the Nats. Probably the Nats.
The Nationals. I would say Padres got nothing out of them. You know what I mean? Like nothing, and they lost 3 talented people.
Yeah, and then they didn't. They had to basically. That's probably a lot of. When they sent him to the Yanks in return for a Michael King, they had to compensate for losing that young pitcher. They brought in some other pieces. Yeah, I mean, I do think the Nationals won, and of course, they got the younger guys, and they all turn out to be pretty good so far. And I think, of course, time will tell, because if the Nationals don't become a playoff team in the next 3 years, then maybe it's just
it's kind of like
up. Yeah. But right now they're pacing to be
re-sign Juan Soto. Like, he was gone. So the fact that they were able to get anything for him, let alone 3 kind of studs, pretty impressive.
Yeah, and you know what? The Nationals also, they won with Soto while he was there, so they had a little World Series on their side. So they said, we won, let's get younger and try to rebuild for the end of this decade. So their rebuild will be like about 10 years, because they won in 19. They probably won't be good again until like 28, 29. But yeah, they're pacing that way, though. They're pacing that way.
On to another team that also is in desperate need of a rebuild. Got the Rays versus Brewers in where they're not even playing in Tampa Bay. Where's the Yankees?
I think it's clear. It's in Clearwater.
So they're in Clearwater. Got Quintana versus Littell tonight.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Tobias Myers versus Taj Bradley tomorrow, and then Peralta versus Rasmussen. Sunday.
This is hard, because the Rays just got swept at home by the Phils. It's like, how many do they lose in a row? Even though I do like Quintana more than Littell, how much are you going to lose in a row? They already lost.
I'm saying probably if they're going to win a game, it's going to be Saturday.
Saturday with under Taj Bradley.
Yeah.
Now, some of these guys did just make the Yankees look like a bunch of assholes in that series, and I think we saw Littell make the Yankees look like assholes, and I think we saw Taj Bradley make the Yankees look like assholes. But the Brewers are more scrappy, right? They can put more pressure on a defense.
I mean, I don't know. Like, they're falling in the rankings in the Central. The Brewers, they are 6-4 in their last 10, but that's nothing to like scream about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought I don't hate them in the standings right now. I mean, they are tied with St. Louis for second, but they were under 500, I thought, earlier this week. So now 19-19 actually isn't the end of the world for them.
Yeah. But
My Wi-Fi stinks right now.
If it's anybody, I'm going probably. But this is I would take Tobias Myers over Bradley if I'm being honest. But I just don't think they lose 6 games in a row.
That's what I'm saying. Because I if we're going off of what pitchers I like more, it's Quintana over Littell, it's Myers over Taj, and I mean Peralta's better than most people, even though Rasmussen's not bad. So, but I don't know if the Braves get swept 2 times in a row, and that would be all at home. That's back-to-back home sweeps.
I know. I don't think it happens.
So
Granted, hold on. I'm pretty sure the Rays are horrible at home
because it isn't even their fucking home. That's why. That's a problem.
Yeah, they're 9-16 at home. Oh, damn, dude, that's rough.
How are the Brewers on the road? Does that shit?
7-12 away. Wow, this series might suck, Spin.
This is what I'm going to do then. I'm going to take Tampa Bay tonight because I don't see them losing that many games in a row at home. They're going to have to win at some point. This series might just suck, yeah. So I'll take Tampa Bay tonight with Littell. I think he just had a good outing. Quintana has been pretty good this year. I think maybe even really good, but when is his run going to be over? When is he's had a good run, Rays are on a bad run. Sooner or later, that's gonna meet each other in the middle, and the Rays might get you. Even if he pitches a gem, the Rays can still win. Then I'll take Milwaukee because I don't think the Rays are good enough right now to win 2 in a row. I don't know if I love Taj Bradley, even though he's coming off a good outing. And I don't hate Tobias Myers, kind of a sneaky dude to root for. And then with that being said, I'll have to take Peralta and over Rasmussen for the rubber match. So Tampa Bay, Milwaukee for the weekend.
I'm going Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, Milwaukee.
So we both have Milwaukee winning the series. You have the Rays losing one more before they can snap it. Yeah. I think they snap it tonight.
Yeah. All right. Into my guys. We got Phillies versus the Guardians. Pretty sure they're in Cleveland tonight. They got Nola on the bump versus Gavin Williams. Rangers, hopefully better outing coming tomorrow versus Bibby, and then Wheeler versus Luis Ortiz. Phillies just coming off a sweep. They're looking to gain some ground on the Mets because I think the Mets have had a pretty hard past couple of series. Like they played some pretty good teams. I'm not 100% sure, but the Phillies are 8-2 in their last 10, coming off the first sweep of the year. Some scrappy wins too. Like they've been putting a lot of like hits together back to back to back, not just doing it on the home run ball, which is awesome to see from this team because we know how they've been in the past. It's just live or die by the home run. But they've been getting it done by just getting these singles, getting the extra base hits. But in all, this is 2 second place teams squaring off.
Yeah, Cleveland's been a little bit better than I think maybe I've been giving them credit. Where do they look like right now, Cleveland? 22-15, where the Phils are finding it also at 22-15. I really like Nola tonight. I think the Phillies are coming off a good series, right? Where they swept, as you said. Nola's been good. I think vibes are high right now. I think they have a little momentum. I think they're finding themselves more now than ever in 2025. I think Nola and the boys are going to continue to roll tonight. So I like that because Nola's been pitching well, I think, in his last 2 or 3 outings. I probably would go with Bibee tomorrow. Bibee has also been finding it, kind of trending at a similar pace as Aaron Nola. If you look at the game logs, Bibee has also been pretty good in his last 2 or 3 after a rough start, and they do look at Bibee to be like a solid number 2 for them, or maybe even an ace at times if fucking Bieber's hurt. So now I do like Bibee and Suarez. I think he might need it's going to be a tough game. Only his second start. I think he needs a little bit more. He didn't look great in his first start of the season. I think he's going to slowly get there, but I don't think he's going to get there tomorrow. Tomorrow. And then you have to take Wheeler and the boys to win the series on Sunday.
So.
And Gavin Williams, Nola could be a more interesting pitching duel than maybe people are going to talk about. Gavin Williams ain't bad, and Nola is finding it.
Oh, man, I want to say it so badly. Nah, I'm not going to say it. No, I'm going to say it. Phil's sweep. Give me Phil's sweep.
I like it.
I think Nola's going to deal tonight. Now, listen, the Guardians are 7-3 in their last 10. So it's not like we're playing a bad baseball team. But once again, the Phillies have to, at some point right now, make a statement. They have to. Now, granted, a series win would be awesome, and it would be just what they need to go sweep a team, then win the series against a good Guardians team. That'd be perfectly fine with me, but I want the sweep. I'm looking at our three pitchers. Suarez, you might be right. Suarez might need a little bit more time, but I don't. I believe in Suarez in his first two innings looked like lights out, and then just kind of lost it a little bit. So you might be right. Maybe he needs some more time, get back into the flow of things. But I'm looking for go into Cleveland and take 3, man.
I like it. And I think a good statement were to be sweep the Rays at their place and then go against a good Cleveland team and then win the series. And now you kind of enter mid-May with a really good, with a good record. You start gaining ground in that division, especially if we have Atlanta sweeping too. So they'll be hot on your tail, and then you have to catch up to the Mets.
And also, I guess we'll get into this now, but the Mets have the Cubs. That's going to be our next one we talk about. But like, there's no way. I mean, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it now. It's like there's no way the Mets sweep the Cubs. If the Mets sweep the Cubs, I'm going to jump off my roof.
Well, let's get that really quick. By the way, I do have Philly, Cleveland, Philly, and you have a Philly sweep.
Yeah.
So either way, I do think it's a fine statement to roll into May, looking like that.
So the Mets. This is the part that scares me. They're in Queens, and they got Taillon. What is it? Spanish versus Holmes. And they don't know who they're throwing Saturday versus Schmeigel. Then they got Sunday. We got Boyd versus Cannings. This is, to me, it's the best series of the weekend. The Mets are involved, but it's the best series of the weekend. It's in Queens, 2 first place teams but this is what makes it interesting. They're first place teams where there's now the second place teams are hot on their tail. Like we talked about how hot St. Louis is right now, gaining ground in the NL Central. And then on the opposite side, Cubs have been playing good baseball all year. So have the Mets a little bit, but slowed down. But now Juan Soto's heating up. We all know the Mets pitching staff has been lights out so far this year. So it's going to be extremely interesting. I'd probably look for the Mets to lose tonight and then I'd say honestly win the next 2.
We're opposite.
Okay.
I got the Cubbies. Keep the apple in the hole. Keep the apple in the hole. Cubbies, baby. I have the Mets tonight. It's tough to bet against Clay with Clay Holmes. I mean, the whole pitching staff has been good. Even Miguel, fucking Schmeigel, whatever we call him. Miguel's been good and Canning's good. They've all been like low-key guys. So I will have Clay Holmes at home. They're going to open up the series and do something. They open up the series under the lights at Queens, City fucking Field, the big fucking stupid fucking apple that comes in and out of the damn thing. Clay Holmes, tough to bet against him. I don't like Taillon. But then tomorrow, the Cubs have an interesting guy. His name is TBD.
Yeah, I know. He's got a question mark for a face. That's not his face.
That's not what his face looks like. It's just a question mark because we don't know who it is. But I'm going to take the Cubs in that game. The Cubs are too damn good. Their strength of schedule has been extremely hard, where the Mets is a little bit opposite. The Cubs have played a lot of tougher matchups than the Mets. So the Cubs are used to these things. And the Mets are one of their better tests, probably, because the Mets are what's their fucking record? 24-14 in first place in a pretty good division.
Yeah, they're 13-3 at home.
But they have also hey, last time you said they were 12-1 at home and they lost the next 2 when we did that one.
What's the snake bite thing? This?
No, that's not the snake. Yeah, that's not the snake. What is that? Hey,
the snakes came in the Queens and took a bite out of the apple.
They did.
They took a bite out of the apple.
They did. Well, here's the thing. The Cubs have also played their fair share of NL West teams, and they've done well against some of these. A 25-win Dodger team, a Padres team a few times this year that has 23 wins right now. Giants, Arizona, all with 20-plus wins. Giants have 24 wins. So it's not like they are strangers to these matchups. I think I would like them a little bit more if it was in Wrigley. So the fact that it's in Queens tonight with Clay Holmes on the bump, that's going to be a little sexy. They probably come out strong. but I think the Cubs are too damn good to put themselves in a position to get swept. So they'll come back on Saturday and beat up on McGill. McGill's been good. I don't know if he's been great as of late. Maybe I'm wrong. My Wi-Fi's not working, or else I check his game logs. I thought he's had some like no decisions as of late, and maybe he's pitching good, but hasn't been coming out with wins. I think that's kind of been his thing. If that trend continues and the Cubs are down in the series 1-0, look for them to bounce big on Saturday. And then I really like, but Canning hasn't been bad. Boyd has been really good, and Boyd has played a lot of tough teams. I really love Boyd on Sunday.
You're almost kind of convincing me. I'm not going to lie. But
am I convincing Joey in the chat? Am I convincing you, Joey?
The Mets are 5-5 in their last. I mean, I think they've had a little away stint. They haven't been home much. Well, they haven't been home this past week since the Diamondbacks series, and I just think they're going to look to bounce back. I don't think they see the Phillies gaining ground. I think they're going to want to take at least 2, especially being in Queens. I think they drop 1. Maybe they drop it tonight. Maybe they drop it Sunday. I don't know which one, but I'm going to go with they lose tonight and win the next 2.
The Mets do.
Yeah.
So it goes, I have Mets, Cubs.
And I have Cubs, Mets.
And Joey says I'm not convincing him.
Yeah, well, you can never convince a Mets fan of anything, actually.
So you have Cubs, Mets.
Yeah.
Who do you have, Joe? Sound off. Let me see your take.
Have Mets. Pete Alonso for MVP. Francisco Lindor is the best player to ever play. We have 3 Cy Youngs on our team.
Side note. This is something that Joey will agree with, and I hate to say it. I think I kind of like Francisco Lindor. Isn't that kind of? I kind of like him.
I like him too.
This is what Joey has. I kind of like Lindor.
Me.
Oh, what the fuck does that say? Pete also.
Corbin Carroll's better. Tatis is better.
He's sounding off.
Kyle Tucker's better.
Lindor's the best, and 3 Cy Youngs. Wow, 3 guys.
Scott's better than anyone on your whole team.
3 guys. Can 3 guys win it at once? I don't know. No, I have been a fan of Lindor. I haven't been for since he joined the Mets. I thought he was the best shortstop in the world when he first came over. Then he stunk, and now it's been he's a Met. That's disgusting. I think right now, I like Lindor.
I think our boy Mikey's in the chat right now, and they have the most hateable player in all of baseball on the Mets. Do you know who that is?
Most hateable? Beatty? Yeah. If you're a Mets fan, it's Beatty.
No.
Who's the most hateable?
Brandon fucking Nimmo.
Oh, you guys don't like Nimmo.
He hates Nimmo. He hates Nimmo. But anyway, we'll get into another hateable guy in this next series. Red Sox versus Royals. Got Dobbins versus Lorenzen tonight. Crochet versus Raggins. Ooh. Crochet versus Raggins on Saturday. And then Giolito versus Lugo on Sunday.
Wow. Battle of the ace lefties on Saturday. That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be an awesome game to tune into. Raggins has looked really good in this year. And Crochet, I know he had like 1 or 2 bad outings, but it's kind of bumped up his ERA, but he's obviously an ace. Some notes I have for this game is Red Sox need to kind of ride off of that Ranger series and, win some games here. And now they especially need it since their PR is a nightmare. They need to shut people up by winning some games. But the Royals, might be the wrong team to do it against. I'm pretty sure the Royals are on hold on.
What are they? They've been good. They just played the White Sox.
They're on a 6-game win streak, and they're 9-1 in their last 10. That is the longest streak in baseball right now, and the best in the last 10 games.
And they're at home.
Yeah, we were talking about it. A much needed hot streak from the Royals. Bobby Witt's playing out of his freaking mind. And then now they kind of have the pitching to back him up. Like we talked about it, Raggins has looked unbelievable. Lugo hasn't been anything to shout about, but he's still been good. I'm looking for the Royals to probably take 2 out of 3.
Okay, what days do you have that them winning?
Saturday, Sunday. They win the weekend. Red Sox.
So they beat Crochet.
What's up?
So they get to Crochet on Saturday.
Yeah, I think Raggins pitches well enough, and they get to Crochet on Saturday.
And Reagan's very well could. He hasn't looked fantastic. I think he's turned it around. I think Lugo might be better than we're giving him credit for. Guys like even Waka and Bubic in that staff, we're not going to see them this weekend, but those guys have been electric, and I don't think Lorenzen has been awful. Their staff is low-key fucking good. So what you have Boston, KC.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to do it. KC. Sweep the weekend at home, Kansas City. I think Boston, I don't know how that locker room is right now, but hey, with the Devers shit, right? I think it's a godsend that I think they're just happy not to be at home this weekend, because I don't know how the fans would be if coming off of that Devers stuff, or if they're going to be booing Devers, or some people are booing the GM, or just booing it. Everyone's going to have a disgusting taste in their mouth. Don't know how that locker room is. You want to believe it's not bad. You like to believe that Devers is good with his teammates and good with his manager, and he just has a problem with the fucking front office. But Kansas City is rolling. Boston doesn't seem to be able to know what a good thing is. When they have a good thing, they can't run with it. They had momentum in the offseason. Their fans were chirping, especially Carabas on his podcast. They were chirping in the offseason because they haven't been able to chirp in years. Then they finally had the ability to chirp, and they had that momentum riding in. It hasn't really worked out to the way – I mean, their new guys have. Crochet and Bregman have been fine. But everyone else, not really. Maybe some of their young guys. But Devers certainly not. You lose Casas. I really like KC's pitching. I think KC is the opposite right now. I think they're riding high. Boston isn't – if there's going to be something to prove for them. Can they finally pick something up and run with it? Or are they just going to shit the fucking bed like they've been doing early this season when they've had a good thing going for them?
You know what's like
KC to sweep.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, I think Christian Campbell is also hurt at second base too, so that's another big loss as well. But they just won 2 against the Rangers. Will Boston boo?
I don't. Well, this is a good point. Duran is mic'd up, right? He is mic'd up.
Did you say he's on a delay though?
Yeah, well, you gotta fucking be, because they're also just saying the F word. No, but that'll be fun. So that's nice. That's nice and cutesy. Maybe that takes some things away because Duran's a fan favorite.
If they don't ask him about the Devers quotes, like they're not doing their job. Like we can get some spicy, juicy like drama and shit.
They won't. No, because they won't, because they're gonna be like, if they was he already mic'd up? Why they wouldn't mic him up on the road, right? Was he mic'd up for this past series?
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, when Devers goes home and they boo him, do you think he's going to be like, why are they booing me?
No, he's going to, he literally, he's their franchise guy. You want to be, if they boo him. I don't know. There's people that might have
kind of oblivious to me, Spit. Like, he seems like he doesn't know what he's saying is wrong because he just keeps on saying it.
I think he knows it's wrong. I think he's trying to be, maybe he's making a bigger fuss about it so that when he actually does do it, he's going to play first. Let's be real. He's going to end up playing first. And I think when he actually does do it, he wants to make this big stink because he can, because it's like, what are you going to do? I think he's using the fact that he is a big dick as trying to use that as leverage, or using that as like, hey, look at me. He's going to end up playing first. The front office is going to get their way, and Devers is just going to be a miserable prick. He should get booed, I think, but we'll see. There's fans that agree with what he has to say.
I think Boston better boo him, unless he goes like, 10 for 10 with 5 bombs this series. They're gonna boo him.
Well, either way, they're trying to do some shit. I don't know if they'll ask Durant because they kind of want to be like nice and shit. Be like, yeah. But if anything, you have to like float around it and say like, how's the locker room? Like, like you got to like kind of ease, like try to get something, but like
it's like when you know something, but like you're just and then you give them like,
yeah. So how like Devers is a good teammate, right?
Yeah, like you guys haven't had any bad press. Nobody would say anything bad about you.
Yeah. How's your media training? Asking for a friend.
But anyway, we'll go into that's going to be a really interesting series just to see how the Red Sox go. But now we get to the snooze fest of the weekends of the Marlins versus the White Sox. All right, here I'll give you the pitching matchups, but then I have something to say. So I got Max Meyer versus Breece Wilson, Cabrera versus Shane Smith, Alcantara versus Burke. I think the MLB should be able to step in and be like, with a series like this, be like, you need to pitch Max Meyer versus Shane Smith.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that'd be funny.
I think they need to be able to do it because they're one day apart. Nobody's gonna watch this series. Who is gonna watch? Like,
It would just fuck up everyone's rotation, but
who
yeah, they
cares?
should.
Who
Yeah.
cares? These teams aren't doing anything. Who in the world would care? Their fans wouldn't even care. They'd be like, "Oh, we get to watch some entertaining baseball for once."
Yeah, Miami kinda when they win exciting games, so they just don't win a whole lot. They just don't win a whole lot, but when they do, some of these games are kind of exciting, and sometimes they have guys that have nights, Kyle Stowers and Dane
Yeah,
Myers, and there's some guys. However, I do have Max Meyer tonight on the road. I actually picked him up in a few fantasy leagues, so I have to see him shove. He's been good. He's been good. He's been easily their ace. And then Shane Smith has easily been their ace. So I'm just going to roll with the better pitchers here. So Max Meyer Friday, Shane Smith on Saturday, and then Sunday's a toss-up, but I kind of think Miami is a little more feisty. So I'll take Alcantara to kind of do something this year. If he has one good start this year, it'll be against the White Sox on Sunday. So I have Miami, Chicago, Miami. I don't see any sweeps, but I'll lean the better pitchers for Friday, Saturday, and then we'll just hope Alcantara can show glimpses of what he was a few years back.
I'm gonna ride with you. Like I just hate that we kind of missed that opportunity for like at least one good game of baseball in this series.
Yeah, it could
Because
have
you
been
could
a
have
pitching
two
duel.
young guys who are great pitchers right now, playing well. Go at it. And we're just missing that opportunity.
Yeah, those would easily probably be the all-stars for those teams. Every team has to send someone. The White
Yeah.
Sox would have to send Shane Smith the way he's pitching, and Max Meyer would be the guy that's Miami. So they would be like there's not a lot of all-stars in this series.
No.
To see if it would beat them. If the All-Star game was like next week, those two guys would be the representatives from those teams. So it would
Yeah,
be nice. But we're seeing them in the series regardless, right? We're still seeing
yeah.
them.
So I'm gonna roll with you though. I'm gonna go with the same thing. Miami, Chicago, Miami. And then
Miami, Chicago, Miami. Yep.
yeah, okay. And then we get Reds versus Astros is the next game. Two 500 teams kind of going at it. Both falling in their divisions as well. The first game of the day, we got Nick Martinez versus Hunter Brown, Singer versus McCullers, and then Abbott versus Blanco. If you're the Astros, these are the perfect three guys you want to bounce back with.
Mm-hmm.
And in a sentence for the Reds, you probably got your three best guys now that Hunter Green's on the IL.
This is tough. I'm kind of changing my shit here. I think the obvious one is Hunter Brown to shove tonight.
Yeah.
I think we both have that, right? Hunter Brown.
Yeah,
And
Martinez has got like a 4 ERA, I think, last time I looked. So
and this is in Houston, so I have to give them the upper edge. So I do have Houston 2 out of 3. The other game they'll win is McCullers tomorrow. McCullers, I think, is his second game off the IL or third or some shit like that. Again, my Wi-Fi stinks, so I can't check his game log. But I think so. Second game off the IL, and he didn't go deep in the last one, but I don't think he pitched awful. It was against the White Sox, his first start off the IL. Didn't go that deep in the game, but Singer has been interesting. He's kind of been trendy. I don't like them to sweep, but I kind of like Andrew Abbott, I think, a little bit more than Singer right now. I don't know if I think I like McCullers a little bit more than Blanco right now. So if I take Cincy on Sunday and Houston's at home, and I think they win the series, and that means I'll have to roll with McCullers for Saturday. So Houston, Cincy.
Hasn't Blanco looked pretty good this year?
I don't think he has. You got to check me, though. I don't think he has. So this would be a really good thing for him to bounce back. But guys like Singer and Abbott have been feisty. I think one of those guys can get it done.
Oh, you're right.
I don't think they both.
No, it's Gusto or Gusto. He's looked good. I was mistaking the two, but so I'm probably gonna ride with you the same way. Brown, McCullers, and then Abbott on Sunday. The Reds need to bounce back though, because you have the Brewers who are sitting at 500. You have the Cardinals who are sitting at 500, and now you have the Reds who are sitting at, I think, 18 and 19. Hold on.
The Reds 19 and 20. They do need to
19,
bounce
20.
back. They both need to bounce back, really, because the Astros are 500. I mean, if they can take 2 out of 3, they'll have 20 wins. They'll be the third. If they win 2 games this weekend, they'll be the third team in the AL West with 20 wins.
And then hopefully gaining some ground on the A's and pushing Texas back, who's having all these injury woes and everything like that.
Yeah,
But
and actually, we both took Texas to win 2 out of 3 in Detroit. They'll also have 20 wins if all this stuff comes true. So that would make for a good little fight there. And Lord knows that AL West is crazy, so they all wanna do something.
yeah, I'm gonna roll with you on the same one. But like, it's just interesting. We last week, I think both of these teams were in third place and they fell over the weekend and throughout this week.
Yeah, the Reds were as high as second, I think,
Yeah.
and started to really fall up. Like also, St. Louis started to climb. So they both need it. They both need it to get back on track. What is Cincy? 3-7 their last 10. That trend might continue because I have to favor. Houston's 5-5 in their last 10, but they are home, so I'm going to favor them. And I definitely think that they get back on track with Hunter Brown. You can't bet against him. They might ride that way with McCullers, and then I don't think they sweep. Abbott's been pretty good too.
So I think we're both riding the same thing. The next series is a series that in the beginning of the year, we both would have been like, this isn't really anything to like look at. But we got the Giants Twins.
And Saturday is going to be good.
Yeah, Hicks versus Paddock tonight, Webb versus Ryan on Saturday, and then Rupp versus Lopez on Sunday.
Wow.
Good pitching duel on Saturday. And for what I was kind of touching on a little bit earlier, we're going to really find out a lot about the Twins this weekend. Because we were talking about, are we going to have to give them their flowers? Are we going to, are they actually a good baseball team, or are they in the process of becoming a good baseball team? And I think we're going to find out a lot in this series. Can Ryan look across the field at Webb, go pitch for pitch with him, duel with him, keep his team in the game, and give him a chance? Can Lopez come out on Sunday, pitch well, do the same exact thing against Rupp, who's had a little shakier start to the year? Now, the Giants, granted, have how many wins? 24 wins on the year, are one game back in the best division in baseball in the NL West. I still lean the Giants to win the series 2 out of 3. What games they win, I don't know. I want to say they win Friday, Saturday, lose Sunday. But like I'm almost kind of hopeful for the Twins to like kind of shock everybody here and prove to everyone like, hey, we are what everybody said we were in the beginning.
I like that we have conflicting takes here. I have Minnesota, San Fran, Minnesota. I have Minnesota tonight. I don't know if I love Paddock, but I don't like Hicks either. And in a toss-up like that, I'm going to go with the more explosive offense right now. A lot of guys trending down in San Fran's offense. A lot of guys trending up in Minnesota's offense. I'm going to go with Minnesota, the boys at home, and a little bit more sparky offense right now to beat up on Hicks. Hicks can give up a lot of runs. You've seen that before. So I'm going to go with Minnesota tonight. I love Joe Ryan. I'm a big Joe Ryan advocate. He's having a really good season. His only problem is he's going against Logan Webb, who is that much better. So I will take San Fran to do enough. I think Joe Ryan could pitch a fucking lights out, but I think San Fran can muster up some offense and puts a little run support. Webb doesn't need a lot of run support, so he can get a win there on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Pablo Lopez has been fantastic. I have to take Pablo Lopez on Sunday. He's the better pitcher, and they're at home, and they're the more explosive offense. I think Minnesota wins this series.
Wow. Could you imagine yourself saying that in the beginning of the year?
No. I'm only saying it because they are the more explosive team right now. Like the San Fran, I think they're trending down. The grandson of the Winds batting average is trending down. I don't really know who that dude is. When they were really hot, like Wilmer Flores was like a power source.
Yeah.
And the grandson of the Wind was on top of the world. Yeah. Now it's like who?
Yeah. And Patrick Bailey might be the worst hitter in baseball too.
I like Patrick, right? But he's bad.
Yeah. He's been
and Fitzgerald's hurt. Well, Damas is picking it up, so that's good to see.
And Chapman's never been a really good bat. He's just been an insane glove,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He could give you something, but I just look for. But the way Buxton's fucking playing, the way that we talked a lot about these guys, and now Royce Lewis. I don't know when Royce Lewis came back, if they were home for that, but Royce Lewis home on the weekend with Royce Lewis at home, I think he's going to embrace that shit. So they win that series.
Yeah, I'm going Giants 2 out of 3, but All right, we'll see. We'll
I
see.
like the
Spencer.
conflicting shit because I'm writing them down in the order so we could have something to like, bragging rights on the line.
Yeah. Next one, snooze. Who cares? Padres versus Rockies. Vasquez versus don't even know how to say this guy's name.
Oh, Sensatella.
Sensatella.
Oh, Sensatella. I don't know if he's Italian, but it sounds it.
Sensatella sounds like a drink.
Yeah,
No.
I'll take a Sensatella on the rocks. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it when you say it like that. Kolek versus dude, what is up with these Rockies guys' names? What the hell is that?
Blaylock.
Blalock? Baylock?
Blaylock.
Oh, did I spell it wrong? Maybe I spelled it wrong.
Well,
But then
it's written as Blaylock.
Pavetta versus Marquez on Sunday. If the Padres don't sweep the series, I'm gonna be like actually pissed. They better sweep the series.
So you have Padres sweeping?
Yes.
Okay. The only I'll just try to be a little different here. I don't know anything about that Kolek guy. I have Randy Vasquez. I might have picked Randy Vasquez up in a league, my deep league. So I like that matchup. I have to root for my boy Vasquez tonight. So San Diego tonight. I don't know either of those pitchers on Saturday. And the Rockies just got done losing a doubleheader against the fucking Tigers. They're going to lose tonight when my guy shoves. That means they're going to have to win at a certain point. Like they,
all right, listen, we say that, but then, and I get it. But I like the Padres with how tight the NL West is need to sweep this.
Yeah, they do. Well, if San Fran falters to Minnesota, which I have, and then San Diego could still win the series, we'll get to two other ones in a second. Who else did we talk about so far? Anyone else in that division? No, not yet.
The NL West?
Yeah, I know there's two games that are coming up later. So Padres, Rockies, so there's out of the three teams we talked about, yeah, I mean, there's two teams playing each other someone has to win that series. If the Giants lose against the hot Twins team and then the Padres can win that series and still not sweep. So I just have Colorado's going to have to win eventually. I have them winning. If they're going to win at all, they're not going to beat Pavetta. They're not going to beat my guy tonight. So they're going to have a losing streak. Then they're going to snap it with like one game in the fucking at home, like for bullshit reasons. And then Pavetta comes back and shoves. So I have San Diego, Colorado, San Diego.
All right.
They'll probably sweep. But I want to be a little different here.
I also don't think I have a sweep this weekend. So I wanted to take a sweep.
So I will say, side note, we have Atlanta sweeping.
Okay.
You have Philly sweeping.
Oh yeah.
And then this one.
Never mind.
So I also have Atlanta sweeping. I have Kansas City sweeping, and I think those are my only ones.
All right. Well, next we get into which this should be a sweep, but it's not going to be a sweep. O's versus Angels.
I like this one.
Sugano tonight versus Hendricks. Gibson tomorrow night versus Cash.
Yeah, Kachanowicz. I'm making that up. Look at how it looks.
That's good. Eflin versus Anderson.
I
touched on this earlier. So remember
I almost do.
You remember how I said earlier we wanted to find out how good the Twins are? Well, let's really find out how bad the Orioles are. This is the series. We're gonna find out just how bad the Orioles actually are.
How bad do you think they are right now?
I think Sugano takes it. Gibson is horrible. Like painstakingly bad. I think he's got a +10 ERA this year, Spin.
Really bad stuff.
But then I like Eflin. So I want to say the Orioles take 2 and lose on Saturday. But who knows what Eflin's going to look like when he comes out? Because Tyler Anderson.
Sneaky pitching duel for a dog shit game. Pretty decent Sunday pitching.
Like, he isn't actually that bad.
Anderson's been really good.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm taking the Angels to take 2 out of 3.
So you have Sugano tonight.
Yeah.
And then you
have I don't even know who this guy is, but go rock. I'm going to rock with him.
Rocking with Kachanowicz. I like that. If he gets a win, you have to buy his jersey. That's the rule.
I'll do that.
If a guy's
Kyle Gibson's got a 14.09 ERA.
The rule is that's really dog shit. The rule is that if you bet for a guy whose last name ends in a Z and he wins, then you have to get his jersey. That's the rule.
I'll take that.
Okay, that's Kachanowicz then.
I don't even know if TH Gate will have a Kachanowicz jersey, but I'll look at it.
You might have to hand write it. You have to make a custom one.
Custom one.
Okay, so I'm gonna be a little different. I also have Sugano to shove tonight in Anaheim. I like Sugano. I think the way he's trending is good, and they certainly need it. So I think he's got a little. I think he started out kind of bad, and now he's got his feet wet in the major leagues. Okay, here we go, Sugano. I'm gonna roll with Kachanowicz on Saturday. I don't like Gibson. I'll be hopeful for Gibson to find it eventually this year, or not to find it, but maybe to be a reliable 4 guy or whatever. They might ask him to be a 3, and he's not doing it. But I'm going to take Kachanowicz. I don't think Baltimore sweeps, but I do like Eflin on Sunday. So I'm taking Baltimore, LA, Baltimore.
2 games for Baltimore. That's a lot of games for Baltimore, Spin. That's a lot of wins for Baltimore.
It's about one too many almost. But I love now that Eflin is back and Sugano has been trending well. If those guys could be 2 pesky motherfuckers at the top of the rotation, then maybe they start to figure things out. It's just going to be a matter. We'll have to see it to believe it. But I'll put my eggs in the O's basket this week.
So one guy I want to touch on real quick. So Nito gets talked about a little bit, and he's looked kind of decent for the Angels.
Oh yeah.
But former Philly was in a trade. Logan O'Hoppe, 284 on the year with 9 home runs and 17 ribbies. It's in at the age of 25.
Oh, for the Angels.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that a trade was breaking.
No.
He was traded. Yeah, O'Hoppe's been really good.
And
Well, I guess he wouldn't start in the All-Star game. I guess it would be Cal Riley, but he's making a damn good case
to get it. I mean, he'll probably be. I don't know what's. Hold on, let me look at.
I mean, the batting average favors O'Hoppe, but everyone likes Riley. He's got more NIL shit.
I mean, so Zach Neto so far in the year is hitting 300 with 4 home runs and 8 ribbies. So, I mean, if he keeps that average up and he plays shortstop, it's a little bit sexier. He might be the one to get the nod to the All-Star game over O'Hoppe. But
but catching isn't as deep. That's what I mean.
True. Yeah, so you might be right.
They both could fucking make it, but O'Hoppe's been there the whole year too, and I think there's I don't know who the shortstops in the AL who are sexy, but catching isn't as deep as I anticipated this year. Cal Riley's a stud, maybe Langlear's, but O'Hoppe making a damn good case and a little bit more quiet, right? A little more of a quiet case.
Yeah, one guy who he's going to be in one of the. Actually, we'll talk about him now, but the Mariners. The Mariners. J.P. Crawford. Crawford. Remember we were talking about him beforehand. How he doesn't really hit all that much. He's batting 288 on the year. He's got 17 ribbies and looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's been ignited as a motherfucker, and he's a big reason him and
he also plays a Gold Glove too, especially with Julio Rodriguez sucking kind of. So him and on that left side, them also playing good, solid defense and hitting as well. It's huge, but. Anyway, they got.
He's another former Phil, right?
J.P. Crawford, yeah, he was. Blue Jays, Mariners, Gausman versus Castillo tonight. Francis versus Evans, and then Blue Jays don't know who they're throwing Sunday versus Miller. I don't really know anything about this series besides the Mariners have been surprising, and they got guys who can hit the shit out of the baseball.
And Toronto hasn't been that great. I am going to roll with Seattle. I just don't know when. I mean, tonight's a pretty good matchup, Gausman and Castillo. I'm going to roll with Seattle and Castillo at home. For that one, Gausman's been pretty good, but Seattle hits the piss out of the ball. They're at home. They also have I don't know if Castillo's their ace, but he is ace-like. He can compete with Gausman. So I'm going to roll with them. And Bowden, Francis, and Evans. I don't know much about Evans, but I think Toronto can do something. I don't hate Bowden, Francis. I always see his name on the waiver wire in fantasy. I'll roll with him to do something, and it's tough to bet against Bryce Miller. I think he's been picking it up as of late. So I got Seattle, Toronto, Seattle.
I'm in on that as well. I mean, Seattle's 8-2 in their last 10. So I mean, they're still hot. They're still playing really good baseball. They're sitting at 22-14 right now, 3 games ahead. Um, A's have a tough game, tough series against the Yanks this week. Look for the Mariners. They know that. I mean, I truly think that these teams, especially when you're at the top, you know what the kind of the guys below you are doing and keeping an eye on what they got.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's a hard series or an easy series, either way, you want to gain some ground. So the Mariners, I definitely think are going to take 2 against the Blue Jays. Probably go with Castillo and Miller. Don't really know anything about Evans, so
Yeah, I don't know anything about Evans.
Monday, Sunday.
When's that? Okay, yeah, I'm with you. So if the Blue Jays are going to get one, I don't think the Blue Jays are like so bad they get swept. So if they're going to get one, it'll be against Evans, maybe Francis shoves. But the Mariners take care of business. They're a good team. Blue Jays are under 500. We always say a good team has to take care of business against these under 500 motherfuckers, especially when you're home. So we're the same there. Seattle, Toronto, Seattle.
Probably the second best series. It's the only 4-game series we have this week. Dodgers versus Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks took yesterday. Huge win for them. Got Sasaki versus Rodriguez tonight. Dustin May versus Corbin Burns tomorrow. And then Gonsolin versus Gallen on Sunday.
I'm going to shock the fucking world with this take.
Oh, Jesus. Go.
Snakes to sweep.
4-game series over the Dodgers.
4 games. They took one yesterday. I'm looking at these pitching matchups. I'm not a fan of Sasaki. I think they're in the desert. Arizona is going to get real fucking pissed off. Everyone's talking about LA, this and that. LA has some injuries, mind you. No Tommy Edman, no Teoscar in that lineup. So there's some guys that are going to have to really step up. I don't know if James Outman starts or it's a weaker offense, then it's not their strongest offense. Freddie Freeman is on top of the world, though. But who's to say that Lourdes Gurriel can't go off? Who's to say Corbin Carroll can't be a monster, which he is? Ketel Marte went yard in yesterday's win. He's finding it again after the IL stint. I don't love Erod, but I like him over Sasaki. Sasaki doesn't go deep into games. I think they could shell him, get him out early. Erod can do something to prevail. You have to be wary of that offense because they can bite you. But he could do something. I want to believe I'm a Dustin May believer. If they take anyone, it'll be when May pitches. But I want to believe that Burns can find it, and he's a big game pitcher, and he wants to continue to pass this baton of the winning ways. Burns is a big game pitcher. He has to make his first big moment as a Diamondback could be this weekend. And then Gallen has only kicked ass in his last few starts. Gonsolin's making his 3rd start off the IL. This might be his hardest test since coming off the IL. Gallen is in stride. He's met his stride. I'm going to say Arizona, Snakes alive. And then they bounce back and make up that much ground. They'll have 23 wins when this happens. And they'll be 2 games behind the fucking Dodgers or something like that. Maybe 2.5, whatever the fuck it is. I'm not going to do the math, but
that's the hottest take on planet Earth, because
that is a hot ticket, baby.
You need a hot take when they're playing in the desert. But I'm still going to have the Diamondbacks winning this series, but they're losing when Dustin May pitches versus Burns.
So
Gallen has shoved every single series. I'm going with him, but the Dodgers are too good of a team to get swept.
They are. That's why this is shock the nation type shit. That's why it's going to be everyone this is what the comments are saying. Gallen can only pitch against New York team, which is true. He pitched good against the Mets twice, and he crushed the Yankees that one time. But hey, what? New York, LA. That's what they say about the Dodgers. It's the Yankees of the West. That's what they say, right? So fucking shout, baby. So who do you have? AZ? Oh, well, they won Thursday, and then tonight you have who?
I got AZ.
And then you
Saturday,
have
LA. I have Dodgers and May, Firecrotch, and then Sunday I have Gallen.
Gallen over Gonsolin, the battle of the fucking G's.
Damn, I'm excited for this series now. That's some
late. And you're bought in a little bit. You have 3 out of 4 in the desert.
That's some late game baseball.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch fucking all of it. Get the popcorn out, folks. That's gonna be a really fucking good one, man. That's gonna be really good, especially if we're both high on AZ strong into this series. The Dodgers can take care of business, but I think the Diamondbacks, they want to be in that conversation. Diamondbacks are a hungry fucking team. They're feisty. They're good.
Diamondbacks dog of the weekend.
Dog of the weekend, D-backs.
Dog of the weekend.
They are home. They are home. Are they home dogs? Probably, right?
It's the Dodgers. But anyway, last game, your boys. I'm going to let you take the way. I'll I'll read the pitching matchups like I have been, but this is gonna be all you, bud. Warren versus Beto tonight. Rodon versus Sears tomorrow, and Schmidt versus Sevy on Sunday. What you got?
Should we ask Jeter holding the in 09? Should we ask 09 Jeter? Hey, you like Will Warren tonight, Derek? Yes. Hey, do you like Rodon over former Yankee JP Sears? Yes, even though Sears has been pretty good this year, Rodon has been really good. And do we like Schmidt over former Yankee Severino? Maybe not that one. Maybe not that one. I want to take Will Warren to shove over Beto, and Will Warren and Beto are similar pitchers. They probably actually have similar numbers. They're probably similar in everything. Body type is just not ethnicity, but they are close. They're very similar type of dudes. Not blow you away dudes. Basically, Warren is the white Beto. You know what I mean? So I'm going to lean Warren just because I want to believe it. Beto is at home. Hasn't been bad. I'm streaming Beto in a league tonight. But I think the Yankees can get to him. Rodon over Sears, pair of lefties. Rodon's been really good, so is Sears. I'm going to favor Rodon, and I think maybe Sevy, maybe they get to him a little bit, but maybe the A's prevail because the A's are too good to get swept right now, and the Yankees piss me off too much to sweep.
I like that, but yeah, oh God, damn it, I'm gonna take Beto tonight. I'm gonna take Rodon Saturday, and then I'm gonna take Sevy Sunday. Sorry, Spid.
Wow. That's not awful. Now, then when the Yankees do win series, especially as of late, they like to make it interesting. So it very rarely do they win a series where they go win, loss, and they already have the series won. It'll be like they lose, win, or they win, lose, and then it's a rubber match, and then they gotta then they come out or they don't.
Listen,
so it's like very rarely do they make
A's fans here, Spin. Jacob Wilson is my fucking hero.
I've been streaming Beto. I've been high on Beto all year, and there's a couple. And then Saturday, Sunday is a former Yankees on the mound for the A's, and we've got some other guys. And Duhar, former Yankee, and who else is a former? There's another one too. Gio Urshela is over there. So they got some guys. The whole A's team is just former fucking dudes. But I like Rodon. I like the way he's been trending. I don't know if Sears is sustainable with his success in the early of the season. Schmidt, I'm sorry, but I don't see the Yankees sweeping. It'd be great if they did. They're also in this stupid fucking baseball field in West Sacramento. And I will take Warren. If anything, it'll be what you said. It'll be A's, Yankees, or something like that. But I want to believe in Will Warren, even though I have Beto pitching in one of my leagues. I want to believe in Will Warren. He needs it. He needs that confidence, and it'll just be really nice if he can. Praying for you, Willie. Come on.
It's a lot of baseball.
Yeah, it's a fucking fatty episode right there. So we have them here. I'll tell you just to recap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We agreed on 6 things. So this is the things if we're looking to agree on: Atlanta to sweep, Texas to take the weekend, lose tonight, but take the weekend in Detroit. That could be a hot take. We both have St. Louis, Washington in the weekend. We both have Miami, White Sox, Miami. We both have Houston, Cincy, and we both have Seattle, Toronto, Seattle. Those are what we agreed in. And then the hot shit is I have Arizona sweeping. You have Arizona 3 out of 4. And then I think maybe the not so hot shit. Oh, here's another hot shit. I had KC sweeping Boston. Love it. And then we also have to look for the Mets and Cubs too.
And then
there's some good ones. There's some good ones, man.
There's good series this weekend. There's going to be we've kind of gotten lucky this weekend. We've had really good weekend series lately. Who's Sunday Night Baseball this week?
Great question. I could see them doing Schmidt and Sevy because they're goofy like that.
Hold on. ESPN.
It should be maybe Dodgers D, but they want to give it's going to be like a Yankees or a Dodgers. They want to give someone a primetime game.
Why isn't it? Oh, it's Philly Cleveland.
Oh, primetime Phils. Primetime Phils. Wheeler and Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz getting that primetime airtime, baby.
Dude, the Mets in Chicago are on Roku at 12:05 on Sunday.
12:05.
What the fuck? 12:05.
on
Holy
Roku.
hell. Oh, my God. All right.
Might have to live tweet some of these things. I'll probably live tweet the Yanks tonight. So follow us on our Twitter, Off Base Media on Twitter. I'll be live tweeting tonight.
I'll throw some in for the Phils.
Yeah, live tweet the Phil. Let's see what we got here. Follow us and send us tweets, and we'll talk about our tweets. What the fuck is Roku? That's what the fans want to know. It's basically like you know how they do the Apple TV. It's that, except way dumber. It's way you thought Apple TV bullshit was stupid. This is even dumb. Yeah, what is Roku? You just get it on your device?
Who knows? We're gonna find out.
You need a Roku to watch it?
Joey's gonna be freaking. Joey's gonna wake up hungover on Sunday and be screaming throughout his house.
You better have that baseball package, Joe. You better get the MLB package, $150 for the year. So who goes yard tonight?
Oh, I already took it. Kerry Carpenter. Patrick Corbin's pitching. It's a simple answer.
Wow. So you've been rolling with Kerry.
I love Kerry.
You took Kerry the other time. Oh, I took Bryce. I won't even bring him up.
Oh my God, that's the one thing we didn't talk about.
I was gonna say.
Oh
wait. Speaking of things that suck, be blacked out if it's on Roku. No, I don't think so, Joe. I don't know if that's true. I'll tell you. I'll tell you if it is. The Apple TV ones don't get blacked out if you have the package. The package kind of trumps everything.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We forgot about our golden takes.
That didn't hit, by the way. I guess we'll do it on Monday.
Yeah, we'll do it on Monday, but these guys got to tell us what our punishment is.
Yeah, because we don't have a punishment yet, so I guess we'll just have to do it till Monday. Yours didn't hit because you needed Harper to hit.
Yeah, and then he went 0 for – dude, he was sitting at 243 before the game yesterday. Now he's sitting at 235 because you went 0 for 5.
Yeah, that's really bad. Really bad, Bryce. You probably will. I think you woke up from a text from me today because I checked. And I was like, I just said, oh, no, Bryce.
Yeah, well,
mine didn't hit either.
How many did the Yankees actually strike out?
Not enough. They only struck out twice against like Pivetta or whoever it was. Or maybe it was
Michael King, I think it was, yeah.
It was King. It was game 2. So they had, it was Pivetta, King, Cease, and I'm thinking K's.
The one time you need them.
Cease, I think, did his job to get the strikeouts, to rack up the Ks. The first game they had 9, so they only had 11 going into game 3, so I knew it wasn't going to hit.
Well, Monday, tune in Monday. It's going to suck, and yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, we'll figure out what our punishment is and then have to do it. The chat's live right now. We'll touch on some of this. I have to also figure out who's hitting a homer tonight. I'm going to take Sal Frelick. Fuck it. I'm not even thinking. I'm just going to say it.
Really?
He's coming back off the IL today. He doesn't have much pop, but doesn't mean
he does not have much pop.
Doesn't mean he can't get into one.
Came back off the IL pretty quick. Maybe he needs a drug test.
Yeah, honestly. No, he was just day to day. So you have Kerry Carpenter. We got to close this fucking show out. I have Sal Frelick. Let's get it. We'll recap all this shit and more. We'll see how our fucking homer hitters played tonight. We'll talk about that on Monday. We'll talk about maybe we'll touch on some of this shit on Monday on our takes, see how good we did, because we're gonna kick ass on these takes, man. I'm feeling good about it.
One of us is gonna. The other one's gonna suck.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen? Maybe just the Dodgers just never lose again. That's probably. But they hear us talking, they're like, "Oh, fuck these guys." So that's here's a homer take for you, Cal Riley, before we leave. And we'll talk all this and more back on Monday. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sean, it's 2 in the morning. Are we back in the evenings tomorrow? I mean, next week?
Yeah, last week. Last week we are.
Last week of the evenings, and we're back in the morning, too.